Senator Warren and I want to talk briefly about one provision. Senator Warren and I have a provision in this bill that would, I think, help generate housing in America. The most stunning statistic to me is the fact that the median age of a new homeowner, first-time homeowner in America today is 38. That's almost 40 before you can afford a home. It hasn't been that many years ago that the median age was 29. We've got a problem. Now, housing is only tangentially a federal issue. It's really an issue for local government. Local government decides, for example, how to zone the land within its jurisdiction. That's good and that's bad, but I respect federalism. So I don't think we need to be telling our friends in local government how to increase the housing stock. I do think that we should use our role, which is to provide the money in a way that incents local government to build more houses. We give $2.3 billion a year in HUD grants to local government for things like housing, sewer, infrastructure, water. $2.3 billion a year.
Hey folks, welcome back to Liberty Trigger. If you still love this country, if you believe in hard work, common sense, and the American dream, you're in the right place. Because today, we're diving into something that hits every one of us right at home, literally. I just watched a Senate hearing where Senator John Kennedy, one of the few straight talkers left in Washington, told the plain truth about why owning a home in America is getting harder and harder. And folks, leans in. He's absolutely right. Now, before he got into the politics, Kennedy did something classy. He took a moment to recognize Becky Hamill, a photojournalist who's been documenting America's story for years. That's leadership. That's gratitude. That's the kind of respect this country needs more of. Then, boom, he dropped a fact that made my jaw hit the floor. The median age of a first-time homeowner in America today is 38. 38 years old. You're almost 40 before you can buy your first home. Something's broken.
Under Senator Warren and I's proposal, if you increase your housing stock over a 5-year period, you will get extra money. Here's the other side of that coin. If you don't increase your housing stock over a 5-year period, more specifically, if you fall below the median point compared to other states, then you're going to lose 10% of your money. And we're going to take that 10% of the money from those states that don't reach the median and give it to those states that do. Before my friends in local government get their bowels in an uproar, we're not telling you how or even if to increase housing. That's up to you. I don't want to get in the zoning business. We are telling you that over a 5-year period, you're going to be compared to your peers. And those of you who surpass your peers are going to get extra money. Those of you who don't are going to lose the money, and we're going to give it to those states and local governments who do. I think it'll have a big impact.
Thank you. We'd love to keep our statements about 2 minutes. Senator,
how long was mine? Well, hell, I spent 3 minutes thanking you.
Yes, sir. That's why you had 4 minutes. Senator Warner.
All right, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, thank you. I got that done quickly. Senator Kennedy, that was like, you are so subtle.
Subtle?
Subtle. You are so subtle, because I know you don't want to push those localities, but that plus up or decrease, that's capitalism at work.
I've been called a lot of things, Senator, but subtle is never one of them.
All right, this doesn't count against my time, Mr. Chairman.
But it does.
I just want to echo thank you to the chair and the ranking member. I think we all here no matter what state. Housing supply is the thing we hear some of the most about. And John's comment about 38 years old, that's way too old in America to buy that first home. So what I think is extraordinary about this, and I know you don't want to cut red tape, but this bill actually does cut red tape across a whole lot of levels. And I think we have, sometimes in the effort to try to protect people, overdone at times. That notion of protection versus opportunity, I think we need to push the needle a little bit back more towards opportunity. And this bill does this in a host of ways, particularly in an area that, candidly, 15 years ago I was not that keen on, manufacturing and modular housing. We've seen a revolution of those fields. We need to put more of that out that pushes supply. I really want to thank Senator Banks for our effort together on the Reside Act, which looks at both increasing supply but also dealing with the challenge that a lot of communities, urban, rural, suburban, have in terms of blighted properties. There's not a community in America that doesn't have a strip mall that's seen its better days. And the notion we've got these strip malls that already have power, parking, broadband, how we can incent renovation and changeover to housing in a lot of these is extraordinarily important. We do that. I will finish quickly with the fact that the Reside Act also provides funding for land trust. I've been a big advocate in Henrico County, Virginia. I would encourage anyone here, both sides of the aisle, they are doing very creative, cutting sewer connect fees, permitting houses in 12 years, and also dramatically lowering the cost of the underlying, because they have a very aggressive housing trust fund and land bank. So again, I think these are good uses. There's a whole series of components in this bill. I strongly urge it's 24-0. That might get us to like 90 plus on the floor. I'm hopeful. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Only 40 seconds left.
Appreciate that. Senator Haggerty.
Thank you, Chairman Scott. I really appreciate your leadership on this legislation. Frankly,
Folks, a generation ago, the median age was 29. We didn't suddenly get lazier. The system got heavier. Too much red tape. Too many taxes. Too many bureaucrats choking the market. Kennedy nailed it. Housing is a federal issue first. It's local, and that's how it should be. He said it straight. The federal government shouldn't tell towns how to zone or what to build. But Washington can use incentives, not mandates, to push local governments to actually get results. Now listen to this part. It's genius. Under Kennedy and Elizabeth Warren proposal. Yeah, that Elizabeth Warren. States and cities that grow their housing stock get more federal money. If they don't, they lose 10% of their funding. And that money goes to the ones who do build. That's not socialism, my friends. That's capitalism with accountability. You perform, you get rewarded. You fail, you lose out. That's how life works. That's how America works. Now, you already know what the critics are saying. Oh no, you can't punish local governments. These same local governments, mostly in blue-run cities, are the reason housing is a mess in the first place. They've buried developers in environmental reviews, zoning boards, and endless fees. They block new construction, then wonder why rent's going up. Here's a radical idea. Let builders build. You want affordable housing? Cut the red tape. Lower the taxes. Get government out of the way. Even Elizabeth Warren, one of the most liberal senators, had to admit Kennedy's plan makes sense. Because the numbers don't lie, folks. Then Senator Mark Warner jumped in. And you know what? Credit where it's due. He actually agreed that cutting red tape is part of the solution. He talked about modular housing, about reusing abandoned strip malls and old industrial areas to create new homes. And I've got to say, that's smart. Because across America, you can drive through towns filled with empty parking lots, boarded up malls, dead factories. They've already got plumbing, electricity, broadband, everything but people. Turn those spaces into homes. Turn decay into opportunity. That's real innovation. That's America rebuilding itself from the ground up. Watching this hearing reminded me, not everyone in Washington has lost their mind. There are still a few people, like Senator Kennedy, who talk like real Americans, who think like us. Who remember what personal responsibility actually means? He didn't try to make it partisan. He didn't throw blame around. He just said, if you perform, you win. If you don't, you lose. That's accountability. That's common sense. And that's what we need more of. Now look, this bill is a step forward, but it's not the finish line. We've got to slash the regulations that make it impossible for small builders to compete. We got to stop letting unelected bureaucrats hold entire housing projects hostage for years. And we got to remind every local government out there, your job is to serve the people, not your politics. Because owning a home isn't just an investment. It's freedom. It's pride. It's stability. It's how families build wealth and communities thrive. If America's going to stay strong, we've got to make sure regular folks can still own a piece of it. So yeah, Senator Kennedy's right. We've got a housing crisis in this country. But it's not because of capitalism. It's because of too much government control. The answer isn't more handouts. It's more freedom. It's letting innovation, competition, and good old-fashioned American grit solve problems. So to every patriot watching this, stay loud, stay proud, and keep fighting for your community. Because the American dream isn't dead. It's just waiting for us to stand up and claim it again. Thanks for watching, Patriots. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe if you believe America's best days are still ahead. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.